Hi, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm glad that you finally joined. No, I'm just joking, but thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Before we get started, please make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel. It will be well appreciated. So today, as you guys can tell by the title, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 wonderful tips I wish I would have known before taking the ACT my junior year. I'm not going to necessarily say this will improve your score, but it definitely will give you a nice foundation and helping you get that higher score. So my first thing is start early. Please start early. So if you're junior and you're watching this, it's still plenty of time. Like if you're going into your junior year, you still have plenty of time to go out, buy a book, and just start hitting the books early, because junior year is a hard year. But if you space everything out and you really have good time management, you're gonna be fine. So please start hitting the books, especially if you're about to be a junior and you're about to take the ACT. If you're about to be a freshman or sophomore, it will not hurt to get a book this early. It will not hurt. And the reason why it won't hurt is because if you buy the book and you're reading little by little every day, you're taking the little quizzes in the books, and then like junior year comes and you're kind of just reviewing the book and everything's just coming to you, that's fantastic. I did not start studying until 20 days before the ACT. Literally the month of February, I was cramming for the ACT, and that's something you don't want to do. It causes a lot of stress on you academically with your school, and then it causes a lot of stress on you mentally. So please do not wait until 20 days before like me and start cramming for your ACT, because it is going to screw you over. It's going to mess you up. Please start early. Please start early. All right, so my second step is going to be to put in the work. Put in the work, put in the work, put in the work. Right now, we're in a society where technology is advancing and our kids are starting to experience with drugs. So I know it can be really hard to take yourself out of those situations, with hanging out with friends and partying and want to look on social media and get it, just being on the internet and watching TV shows and stuff like that. Like it's summer, like you don't really want to work, or like you already have schoolwork and you're probably finished with your schoolwork. You don't want to pull out your ACT, and that's not until your junior year. Like you don't want to really focus on that. So I would say if you put the time, you put the work in, you should only have to take the ACT once. Maybe twice if you feel as if you didn't do good the first time. But if you put the work in the first time, your score is going to pay off. You won't have to take it 2 or 3 or 4 times like other students have to, because they don't really go hard their first time, or they don't study at all, and then they kind of study and do better the second time. But if you really put that work in the first time, you're going to be fine. So please, I know it's hard, but if you sit down and put the work in, you are going to be good. Like you're going to have to make sacrifices from hanging out with your friends and going to parties and being on social media. Like you are going to have to make sacrifices. So that is one of my biggest things, is if you sit down and you force yourself to do something, you're going to feel so good after, because you're going to be like, dang, like I didn't want to do this, and now like I know all this material, and you're going to feel great. So please put that work in. My third step for you guys is know what you're aiming for. Going into the ACT, what I would do is I would have a list of schools, and I would see where their ACT scores range from. So if it's from the 22s to the 27s, I would kind of see where like my top 2 or 3 schools ACT scores range from. And then I would look at the ACT scoring chart, and I would see what questions I need to get right in order to get this score. So my second time taking the ACT, which was this previous Saturday, I aimed for the questions I knew I had to get right in order to get the score I needed. So maybe like, I'm just going to throw some numbers out there. Maybe I needed a 27 on the ACT. And in order to get that 27, maybe I needed to get 40 right in the math. So for those first 40 questions in the math section, I was going, like, I was hammering, I was going hard, focusing, you know. Maybe I skipped one or two in that 40. I knew I had to get that back in the last 20 questions. So one of the big things is know what your schools average are, know what they accept, what's above average, what's below, and how things will balance out for you. Going into my first ACT, I didn't really think about what I wanted and what the schools like that I wanted to attend, what their ACT requirements were. So please look into schools and like what their ACT requirements are. And another thing is if you don't necessarily know what schools you want to go to, I would just say look at some local schools, talk to your counselors and advisors, and kind of ask like, okay, what's kind of like the average if I want to go to like a community college, or if I want to just go to a 2-year or 4-year. Kind of talk to them about, you know, like ACTs and like what they consider like you should get, or what most schools accept, and really go from there. But look up some just local schools, community colleges, your main university in your state. Like, kind of get an idea, even if you don't know where you want to go, get an idea of what score you need to aim for in order to be successful. So my fourth thing is going to be scholarships in schools. A lot of teachers, since my freshman year, have told me, oh, the ACT is not everything. The ACT is not everything. Schools look at everything balanced out. So many teachers have told me this. Let me tell you my personal opinion. The ACT matters. It matters. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I wish I wouldn't have listened to teachers and advisors when they said the ACT is just a number. It does not matter. The ACT can make or break the decision of you getting into that college. Do you hear me? Like, you can be well-rounded. You know, you're improving. Your GPA maybe is a little under, and then your ACT is like smack way under. You are not going to get into that school. You know, because there's so many candidates that are competing against you to get into that school that are well-rounded, that worked really hard on their ACT, that has a really good GPA, a lot of volunteer hours, all that. So it's just like, never let a teacher tell you that the ACT is not important, because it definitely is. Because most schools require that ACT, and obviously they require that ACT for a reason, and that reason is because it matters. So don't let teachers tell you the ACT does not matter, because it definitely does. So especially for scholarships, it hurts. It really hurts to tell yourself that you are a number. You have to be a number when it comes to the ACT. You have to. Because a lot of scholarships would be like, oh, you can't apply for this scholarship if you don't have a 30 on your ACT. And then you're like sitting there with the 29, and you're just like, well, man, I wish I would have put a little more work in so I could have got that 30. But, you know, the teachers were saying it wasn't as important. But to this scholarship, that's all that they're asking for is that ACT score. And you can't even send in an application because of your ACT score. So that's another big thing I wish I would have known, is how a lot of scholarships require really high ACT scores. High, I should say. So that is something to really consider, to really look at, because if you sit here and you let these teachers say, oh, it's not that important, it's not that important, the higher your scores are, the better you're going to get scholarships, the more likely you're going to get into schools you want to get into. So please, don't listen to the teachers. And the teachers, you know, they give good advice, but this is something I really wish I would have went with my own gut. And I would not have listened to the teachers. I would have not have. Because, you know, when you slack off and you probably get a not so good score, your teacher's probably like, oh, it's okay. Like, they look at everything, not just that. But it's just like when you can't afford to pay for college and you're applying for scholarships, and that ACT is just like, oh, well, you have to have a 3.5, and you have to have a 28 on the ACT, and you got that 25, but you're at a 3.5, it's going to hurt. It is going to hurt, because you're going to be like, Like, I put all this work in, and I can't apply for the scholarship because of my ACT score. And there's plenty of scholarships out there, but a lot of them require ACT scores, and a lot of them require GPAs. So please grind these 4 years in high school, because like if you do really good, then you could have a nice amount of your schooling paid for if you do really well. All right. And my 5th step for you guys is just gonna be, don't compare yourself. Do not compare yourself. It is going to eat you alive if you compare yourself to the next person. And you know, it's a process with the not comparing, because so often kids are like, oh, what did you get? What did you get? What did you get? How did you do? So often kids want to know what other people got, and you know, they're probably comparing. And when someone asks you your score and then you don't ask for theirs, they'll tell you theirs, and then you're kind of comparing yourself, like, oh well, what kind of situation was they in? What kind of situation am I in? And stuff like that. Like, it's really hard for kids not to compare themselves. So often in this day and age, kids compare themselves, and they're like, oh well, she got this test score, you know, she's better than me. He got this test score, he's better than me. This, that, and the third. And it's just like, if you're gonna sit and complain about a test score that someone else got, that you could have got if you worked harder, you have no reason to, like, you don't have no reason to complain. Like, if you don't like your score, if you're upset with yourself, your body, something you have, the things you have, the materials you have, if you're so upset at the next person that they have something that you don't, please get out and go work for it. Please get out and go work for it. And that's one thing, is that kids will sit down and they will be like, oh well, I'm not as smart, or he's smarter than me, or they have money, or they took prep classes. That is not an excuse. If you're getting out here and you're working, you're grinding, you are going to be set. Like, just because someone took an ACT prep class doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get a better score than you. Why? Because, like I mentioned earlier, if you go out and you buy your book, I've been self-teaching myself since I took the last ACT. No help, don't meet with friends. I literally sit here and I would just work, grind. I would grind. And honestly, like, that often these kids get caught up in the, I don't have this, I don't have that. Ask your mom for $20 and go get a book. And the book is big. So like, a lot of kids are backing out already, like, oh god, that book's huge. A lot of time they're sitting, they're talking, they're explaining to you guys the material and why this is that and all these other things. And this is only $16. Everything you need to get a good ACT scores in this book. How things work, tricks on the ACT, things they pull on the ACT. All this is in this book, and it's here to help you. It's here to benefit you in every way, but you have to take advantage of this. So what if you don't got a prep class? So what if your teachers aren't helping you? They aren't preparing you? So what? We're getting to the age where you have to get out and you have to go do things yourself. Self-teach yourself and be great. You cannot depend on anybody. You can't even depend on the teachers to teach you something. You have to go out, you have to get the resources you need to be successful, and you need to work. Stop comparing yourself to the next person, because you can be doing something better. They can be doing something better, and so can you. So comparing yourself to somebody else is not going to get you anywhere. It will not get you anywhere. So with that being said, I need you guys to keep grinding, because everybody is different. Everybody has a different life story. Everybody done been through something that somebody hasn't. We don't know life stories, but we do know that every person is unique in their own way. What makes you unique? I want you to sit down and I want you to ask yourself, why am I unique? What makes me different from everyone else? I want you to sit down or look in the mirror, rinse your face with some cold water, and ask yourself, what makes me unique? From the next person, from your teacher, from the kid you was comparing your tests with, What makes you guys unique? What makes you different? So pretty much I am just going to wrap up this video, and yeah, so thank you guys for joining in. I really hope you guys take these steps into consideration, because they will definitely help. It's a process. It's a process with, you know, taking that first step and being able to do something on your own, because I definitely went through that by myself, you know, being first generation and this and that. So please take my steps into consideration. If you have any more questions, or like where I got a book, I got my book from Barnes and Noble. I would put I'm gonna put a video clip in here with my book, and you know, other books that you can get that are probably way cheaper than mine and stuff like that. So please comment. Maybe I could like show you guys videos of how to study for the ACT, and preparing what you should do the day before, the night before, a few weeks in advance, and stuff like that. So please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Then again, you guys, I am sorry for such a late video. I did have a video for you guys, but it did get deleted, so this one should hopefully be up on Monday. Please share this with your friends. Please share, and let your friends know that the ACT is important, no matter what anyone says, because when it comes down to, you know, the make or break, who has that better ACT? You know, you can be identical to somebody, and who's gonna have that better ACT score? So please grind in and out of the classroom. Make sure you guys are taking care of yourself and your bodies. It is summer. Make sure you guys are making smart decisions and smart choices. And with all that being said, I want to thank you guys again for coming out, and yeah, have a good day.